Joining us now on the MARR Army Rock Show, yet another fantastic band from Sweden. We love the Swedish bands here on the MARR Army Rock Show, and I saw ColdSpell for the first time out at Rockfest in Wisconsin. I am thrilled to have Mike, the guitarist from ColdSpell, here from Sweden. Mike, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Now, listen, I had the pleasure of meeting you at Rockfest, and that was my first time seeing you guys. Now, you're not in the States a ton, but you're coming back soon. Before we talk about some upcoming dates, tell us a little bit about the Rockfest adventure here in the States.
Oh, the Rockfest adventure, yeah, well, that show was an adventure. Sure. It's always nice being at a festival, and well, we used to in Sweden to have some great festivals as well, like Sweden Rock Festival, but well, I just discovered that Rockfest it was kind of similar to Sweden Rock. It was a great festival, and we had amazing days there, and well, nice weather, nice people, good music. So it was the best of festivals ever.
Yeah, it's actually one of our favorite festivals in the United States. I have not had the pleasure of going to Sweden Rockfest yet, but you said they used to have it. Are they no longer doing those big festivals in Sweden?
Oh yes, they have. I don't know. It was Sweden Rock. It's more like, well, I don't think people count the years. How long has Sweden Rock been around? It's more like an institution.
So you've got some U.S. dates coming up in October. You guys are calling it Rocktober, which is very cool. You're going to be in Duluth, Minnesota, and Minneapolis. Tell us a little bit, especially about the Rock and Skull Festival coming up.
Yeah, Rock and Skull Festival. That'll be the last show this time. So we had plans to do a longer tour from the beginning, but well, it's not always easy to get what you want when it comes to planning and all that. So we decided to at least we want to come and do a few shows around that date at Rock and Skull. So we do the first show in Pine City, and well, it's more or less Minnesota this time. It's Pine City on Wednesday and Duluth on Thursday, and then Friday at Pickle Park, and Sunday we play at, well, the last day at Rock and Skull Fest. That would be great bands there as well.
Yeah, now Duluth, Minnesota, we have some family up there. That's way up north. If you were to come back in the winter, you might feel right at home in Duluth.
Yeah, I realized that because, well, I have a bunch of friends over in Minnesota, and the more I talk to them and the more I get to know about Minnesota, and especially up north in Minnesota, then I realized that, oh my God, well, then I understand why 1/3 of the Swedish population actually did immigrant to U.S. to that part of U.S. because it was like that. I think it was about 1.3 million Swedes that immigrated to U.S. in the late 18th century, beginning 19th.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Swedes up there in northern Minnesota. Now, when you do this tour, I know you're probably going to be playing a lot of cool music from Frozen Paradise, but you guys have started working on a new album. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I guess I always work on new material, but well, to be honest, these days, the more busy I am, as ColdSpell is, well, my brainchild from the beginning, the more we do, the more I get to do, and sometimes I just realize that I probably play more keyboard on the computer than I play guitar, and well, that is not maybe that good, but it's nice when you get so much amazing feedback from all around the world. And well, I don't prefer to call people fans. I prefer to call them friends, because it's more like in this style of music, it's more like a community. It's like that when we went to Melodic Rock Fest in Chicago a few years ago, and we're now playing Rock and Skull. It's more or less it's the same kind of people that goes to these kind of festivals for the love of melodic hard rock, I guess.
Yeah, that is so true. Those kind of melodic rock festivals here in the U.S., it really is a fraternity of people. Now, is melodic hard rock still the most popular in Sweden? Or I notice you guys have a big following, it looks like, in the U.K. as well.
Yeah, we do, but unfortunately I have to say that in Sweden, I think, well, I guess we're one of these bands that, well, we're into this melodic hard rock, classic hard rock, and a little bit of metal and progressive stuff as well. But when it comes to playing more this AOR style melodic hard rock, I don't think it's that big in Sweden. I think it had its peak back in the 80s, beginning of the 90s, when Europe did its final countdown album and all that. But otherwise, I think Sweden, if I say something, I think metal and more extreme metal stuff is maybe the biggest thing in Sweden. But we're one of those bands that we probably we're not that easy to put in a category from time to time. Because it's a little keyboards. Is from time to time we had a little Hammond organ, and it's as I'm the songwriter, I grew up with all these amazing hard rock bands, Purple, Zeppelin, Sabbath, Whitesnake, Rainbow, and I just love the 80s and I love the 90s and I love whatever comes. So I'm a true fan of all different kinds of metal styles of hard rock and all that. So that's why probably the sound of ColdSpell maybe ends up not being just melodic. It's a bit old classic, and it's I hope there's some parts that even the metal fans can refer to and appreciate as well.
Oh, I think they absolutely will, and having seen you play live, I know the metal folks would definitely appreciate what you guys do. And talking about another genre, now you guys decided to do a unplugged version of a Sonata Arctica song. Tell people a little bit about that.
Yeah, we had a request to do that, and to be honest, they are from Finland and they are our neighbors. It's one of those bands. It would have been easier if we get a request to do for a tribute album of Whitesnake or Rainbow or stuff, Judas Priest or whatever. I mean, then we would have huge problems deciding what to do. But when I had this request, I thought, I heard a few songs, a few albums with them, and they're more like into this. That is big in Finland, power metal thing. It's a great band, but I thought we check around what they have done and all that, and then did find this song, Letter to Dana, and thought maybe I know they play that song acoustic from time to time when it comes to live performance and all that. So I thought that maybe we do a ColdSpell version of that and do it unplugged. As we got a lot of requests, after these 3 albums, that why are you not doing an unplugged song? So it felt like that could maybe be a sort of plant a little thing for the coming album. Maybe we need to have a ColdSpell song as well for the future that is based more around just acoustic guitars and all that. But I think that Sonata song did turn out actually good. I know it's been released a few weeks ago, that album, and mostly got great feedback on that song.
Now, hey, I noticed you worked with a big-time producer on your last few albums, Tommy Hansen. Now, are you still working with Tommy? And tell me a little bit about what he brought to the ColdSpell albums.
He actually was the guy who mixed all 3 albums, mixed and mastered them. So, it was when we signed, back in 2008, or was it 2009, when we signed with Escape Music in UK. He brought up Tommy Hansen and said that he will be good for your sound, and I have to thank him for that, because he have worked with bands like TNT, Halloween, and Pretty Maids on their early albums, and also done a few albums with Jorn Lande as well, and we really like the sound that he created with the Jorn albums, when you have this more mid-edgy, crunchy guitars that is more in your face and not so much in the background of the mix, and so I think we have to thank Tommy a lot for having the sound we have on the albums, and it was actually the sound I've been looking for when it comes to doing these albums. So I couldn't have asked for more, really.
So it looks like, if my math is right, this is like the 10-year anniversary for ColdSpell. And if you reflect back on the beginnings, tell me a little bit about how far the band has come in those 10 years.
Well, it was like with the first few years, well, you can say the history started when we released the first album back in 2009, but there was a few years before that well, we had the name ColdSpell and were a band officially, but well, to be honest, it was some problems with who are gonna be in the band and all that. But I think it takes some time to figure out and have the right elements in the band and the right people that are, well, just as devoted as the rest of the guys in the band. And I think, well, I think the lineup now from the Frozen Paradise album and on the coming album, I think it actually feels amazing. Great guys, and we feel like we are very much connected with what we do. So it's a great bunch of guys.
Now, when you come to the U.S. Or any festival, really, not just the U.S., for Rock and Skull Fest and for Rock Fest in Wisconsin, I know you mentioned like Rainbow and all the classic bands. Who do you like to watch? Did you get a chance to watch any other bands at Rock Fest, or were you just too busy?
Well, I get to see a lot of bands that I actually haven't heard at all, but one of the bands that is, well, become over the past years become one of my favorite bands is Blackstone Cherry.
Oh, yeah.
And I did see some parts of their performance, and that's a great band. I love what they did, and of course I did end up seeing Judas Priest as well. So.
Yeah, man, both good choices, and we've been fans of Blackstone Cherry for quite some time now, and that's a great lineup. You've got this Rock and Skull Fest, man. It's just people all over the place there that are talented artists. Now, tell me a little bit about the UK tour that's coming up, because we do have some listeners over there.
Oh, the UK tour. Well, we haven't got a UK tour coming up now. We have done UK tours. We have been 2 times to UK on the Frozen Paradise album, and we've been to Scotland as well. And played this summer. We were hoping to have something in UK this fall, but didn't turn out that way. So we decided we record this album, we release the new album, and then we make sure to come back to UK and play in every little corner of UK. UK, it's an amazing country as well when it comes to play, and the rock audience are, well, absolutely fantastic, and they take very much good care of us when we come over there. So.
I know they do like their melodic rock over there. Now, it's been a dream of mine to come to a festival over in Europe and maybe even specifically in Sweden. So give me a recommendation. If I was going to come to like one festival in Europe, do you have one that you think is just like the premiere, or like that you would love to be a part of, or if just as an outsider that I should go to?
Yeah, well, I haven't been much around those festivals in Europe, in Belgium and Germany and all that, but I mean, at summertime, it's festivals all over, and it's just exploded the last few years when it comes to festivals. But, well, to be honest, I have to say that I think people that come to Sweden Rock Festival, no matter what the lineup is, they always want to come back there. It's one of those festivals where it's pretty much. The size of it is it's good. It's around 35,000 people, and talking to the cops who get to work there at the festival, they say, "Oh, this is just the best festival ever to work at, because we have nothing to do." I mean, it's like one giant family reunion where all people are just there for one cause, and it's for the love of music, and it's one of these festivals. It's not just young people or mid-age or old people. It's everyone. It's their grandpa with their grandchild coming to the festival and all that. It's and a lot of great bands, and it's more or less like what kind of style you're into. If you're more into like metal, then I guess going to Wacken could be maybe even better. But if you're into bands like this kind of like Van Halen, Motley Crue, Aerosmith, Sabbath, and as well they have some metal acts as well at Sweden Rock, then I think it's a good mix of everything.
Well, it's definitely on a list of one I want to go see. And, hey, man, your band is always on my list. I wish we could make it out to the Midwest. You know, we're on the East Coast here, but ColdSpell has shows coming up the 14th through the 18th in the Minnesota area. They're at Pine City. They're in Duluth. They are at Rock and Skull in Pekin, Illinois, I guess you say it. Yeah, Pekin, Illinois.
Pekin, so. Not in China. It's in use.
And maybe one day they'll find their way over there. But Mike from ColdSpell, it was a pleasure meeting you in Wisconsin this summer. I'm a huge fan of the band. I got all 3 albums, and we're going to be playing music from you tonight. So thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure is mine, and I know we're going to meet soon.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you.